Hi, hello and welcome to a new video here, Faceless guy, Threads of Cold Steel. No, not Threads of Cold Steel, I'm sorry. The Dominican Republic, geography now. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, as you see, there's a video right to the, as a suggestion, at the right side of the screen. My camera was maybe above it, but the thumbnail says poor versus rich. Poor, the Haiti, rich Dominican Republic. It's also something I heard about this island, Hispaniola, and about the two countries. So let's see how it goes, and yeah. If you enjoyed this kind of video, then please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Maybe you have watched yesterday Dominica, and now we are here with the Dominican Republic. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Hey everybody, if you've never heard a Dominican talk and if you understand and speak English, this is roughly kind of what it's like to be a Spanish speaker listening to a Dominican, and welcome to the DR.
Okay. I guess I understand what he wants to say. People from the Dominican Republic speak very quickly. So, in Spanish of course. But interesting.
It's time to learn geography.
Now! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. If you're going to know anything about the Caribbean, you're going to have to know about the DR. This is where so much began and revolutionized the entire Western world. That's a tall order. Now let's start sailing this ship. Christopher Columbus may have arrived in the Bahamas first, but the DR is the place where everything with European colonialism in the Western Hemisphere began. First of all, the country is located in the Greater Antilles Archipelago in the Caribbean region, taking up 2/3 of the island of Hispaniola that it shares with Haiti to the west. Located just southeast of Cuba and east of Jamaica, right across the Mona Passage from Puerto Rico, the country is divided into 31 provinces, and the capital Santo Domingo lies on the south side of the island and acts as a national district. The island owns and operates minor islands and islets off the coast, the largest ones being the Islas Beata, Catalina, and Saona, which has a lot of starfish, all on the south side of the country. Both by area and population, the DR is the second largest country in the Caribbean and is the most frequently visited of all the Caribbean countries. Yeah, sorry, step up your game, guys. Calypso and Carnival aren't enough now. Now, before Columbus came, the island was inhabited primarily by Taino peoples that were divided into 5 chiefdoms, or cacicascos. They were Marien, Mawa, Mawana, Harawa, and Hiwe. To this day, the DR occupies land that historically belonged to all the chiefdoms, while Haiti only inhabits parts of Marien and Harawa. Now let's rewind a little bit and go back to Santo Domingo, shall we? Santo Domingo in itself is paramount to the identity of the DR, let alone the Western world. This is the site where so many things started.
Okay, the city looks nice, like a big city. So yeah, let's see. And I have no idea how many people would live there, on the island, in the nation, and in the city. I guess over 1 million in the city, but I'm not sure.
Is paramount to the identity of the DR, let alone the Western world. This is the site where so many things started. Founded by Christopher Columbus's brother, Bartholomew, Santo Domingo was the very first permanent European settlement in the Americas. Yeah, nice try, Vinland. A for effort. The very first hospital, cathedral, monastery, university, sewer system, fortress, and even castle were all constructed here. Santo Domingo also claims to be the final resting place of Christopher Columbus's body. However, the Spanish kind of disagree. It kind of goes like this.
Okay, Dominican Republic, Christopher Columbus died, and he said he wanted to be buried in Santo Domingo, so we're sending the body over to you.
Thanks!
Like 400 years later or something. They did not send the real body or so, I guess.
Oh, actually, as it turns out, you don't have the body anymore.
What? Yes, I do. It's right here.
Yeah, actually, after the whole thing with France happened, we moved to Cuba, but then the whole Spanish-American War thing happened, so we just brought it back to Seville.
Yeah, we're pretty sure we gave you the wrong body. The one we have even has severe arthritis, just like Columbus had before he died.
Yeah, but we did a DNA test on the corpse, and the results were close to his brother's.
Liars! Now, there's a reason why this is the most visited country in the Caribbean, and part of the reason has to do with all the natural
I'm not sure why they would argue about this. Christopher Columbus was, I think, an asshole. What he did to the indigenous people. So I'm not sure why they would want to have the real body and why this is a big thing. But yeah, if you are from the Dominican Republic, you can tell me.
Treasures that the land has to offer. Transition. The Dominican Republic knows how to make you feel like you got the full Caribbean experience when it comes to land makeup. First of all, the country is dominated by 4 main mountain chains, the 2 Cordillera ranges, the Septentrional and the Central, and the 2 Sierras, the Sierra de Neiva and the Sierra de Barruco in the south. The Cordillera Central is the tallest of all the chains and at over 3,000 meters high contains the tallest peak in the entire Caribbean, Pico Duarte. Funny enough, the DR also has the lowest point in the Caribbean as well, Lake Enriquillo, a hypersaline lake located between the 2 Sierras and is actually a semi-arid zone where cacti can be found. Between the 2 Cordillera ranges, you can find the Cibao Valley, the most fertile area in the DR where most of the farms and crop fields can be found. Head a little east and you reach the Costanza, the coldest area in the DR where sometimes it can even snow in the winter. Otherwise, there are too many amazing nature spots to go over in depth, so I'm just going to briefly list some of the ones that you guys, the Dominican geography, suggested to us. The Los Tres Ojos Caves, Dunas de Bani, Bahia de las Aguilas beaches.
This beach also looks awesome. Bajín de las Aguilas. I know a little bit Spanish. I recently started to refresh my Spanish. I learned it at school and now I want to improve it again a little bit. But it looks absolutely awesome, amazing, like on a picture. This water, this beach. I would love to go in the beach, on the beach and in the ocean there. If it is not dangerous. I'm not sure about this, but if it is not dangerous, I would love to go there in the water and swim there, or just rock near on the beach, but with my barefoot through the water and then little waves on the feet. It's probably amazing.
Los Aitices National Park, the Damahacua Cascades, the Jarabacoa and Punta Cana beaches because logic, the Cueva de las Maravillas, and that's about it.
You forgot about the Samana area where you can see whales and stuff.
Oh yeah, and the Samana area where you can find whales and stuff. Food is easily...
How he repeated the thing she said. That's funny. Okay, food. I'm not so into many different types of food. I'm very picky with food, so maybe I'm not so impressed here as you might expect.
Here, as 80% of the land is suitable for agriculture, which alone employs about 70% of the workforce. However, exports are higher in textiles and plastic goods. Manufacturing and mining has actually taken a huge boost in the past few decades. In general, the DR may be bustling and hustling, but they still generally keep things green. I mean, if you look at the border with Haiti, you can see the stark contrast in who maintains their side better. DR, you guys have come so far. Let's talk more about who you are.
Maybe I will even react to Haiti next and just make 3 reactions on one day and also hopefully edit them all and upload them, but privately, or schedule them for later. So you see them later.
Now this is the part.
Okay, I say 10 million. 10 million.
The video where things are going to get a little touchy. The reason being because when it comes to their population, the DR kind of plays by their own rules and we just kind of have to understand it. First of all, the country is made up of about 10 million people and...
I was right. It was just a guess. I didn't use this. Awesome.
It was the first place to import Africans as slaves to the New World. Now this is where we have to kind of address the ever slightly tense subject of identity. Due to...
Hi guys, hello and welcome. A small clip I have to talk about this. Rightness. I will not talk about this. I will let Hassan Abi talk about this. I found a small clip. It's a part of this video here, which I think is very good. I will have a link to this video in the description if you're interested. But yeah, I will show you this small short.
There is no such thing as white people. I'm white. My skin is white. There's the paleness of your skin that makes you white, which is like what we see and what we think of when we think of white people. But the real white people concept is a political one that was deliberately crafted to justify racial subjugation to black people. It started all the way back with the one-drop rule in an effort to make sure that there was a differentiating factor between the people that were being subjugated, between the people that were forced into slavery, because if you recognize that the people that you were enslaving were real human beings, then all of a sudden that gets into tricky moral territory for a lot of people who are going to say, that's not a good look, sweaty. You're kind of enslaving human beings. That's where whiteness comes from. And I'm not talking about whiteness like I'm white, you know, my pale skin. I'm talking about whiteness as a dominant political faction, as a political tool, as a political concept. It is one way to conceptualize power. There is no...
And the important thing I want to, where I did this, where I showed you this, he mentioned himself that it's not about the color of your skin. But mostly if we think about whiteness, it is this political thing, not the skin color. Because he also at a different point in a different video said some people would not even consider him to be white. Some would say he is I'm not sure what he was, but what it was, but have something else. Also Germans were not always considered white. The same with the Russian, and so it's not about the skin color. And also many people in Africa have always had white skin. And so it never really was about skin color. Some Asian people I would my ex-girlfriend I would have considered to be white, and because the skin was I mean, yeah, it was more white than, yeah. So but she would probably be considered to be Asian. So it's never really about the skin color. It's just about where you're coming from, and that's weird. But and that's also, I don't understand the whole why he always talks about this and always mentions this specifically the ethnicity of the country. I mean, I guess it is just something American that why this is interesting. And for his American viewers, so they can imagine how a country is, how the people of the country are, even if they don't know anything about the country. They know how many people come originally from somewhere else. We are all African in this way because our origin is always African, East African, I think. So there's not much true difference between different humans. We all came from the same place originally. So I don't understand this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You want to enjoy the rest of the video? Please do so. Please like and subscribe.
So many prominent Dominican figures that take the spotlight. The stereotype for the DR is that everyone is black, and yes, it is true that the majority of the population has some kind of African ancestry in their heritage. However, it's not that simple. In the US and many parts of the Western world, we tend to live by the one-drop rule, in which if you got even a little bit of black in you, girl, boy, brother, sister, you black. But in the DR, if you have a little bit of black in you, hermanos, ustedes son indios. Kind of like how we mentioned in the Brazil video, so many people in the DR are mixed that they kind of created a whole new race for themselves called Indio, which categorizes a whole spectrum of skin color gradations. That being said, the country is about 73% mixed, 16% white, and the rest identify as straight up black, with a small community of Asians and indigenous inhabitants. Many Dominicans are shocked when they come to the US and are labeled as black, since they aren't called such a title in their country. Nonetheless, they embrace their mixed heritage and prefer not to be labeled fully under just one side. Culture-wise, Dominicans are known.
I would also, I mean, as I said, I mean, I can just repeat myself. It is a little bit weird, this kind of whole concept, I think. But anyway, if you want to explain it to me, please do so. I would like to hear your opinion about this. So yeah, do it.
By many other Latinos to be some of the fastest talkers in the Latin world, almost on par with Chile. Also, they have an entire reservoir of distinct Dominican slang and idioms, such as que mi, juntadera, pila, jevo, or jeva. Then you slang and idioms, such as que mi, juntadera, pila,
Jevo. Okay. Interesting.
or jeva. Then you have like real descriptive words and phrases like lambón, palomo, tigre, serrucho. And like Venezuela, they also use the word vaina, which could literally mean anything. You can use it in a sentence as a filler. Otherwise, the typical cultural traits that everybody knows about are kind of engraved in societies, such as merengue and bachata being the national dances. Even if you're a paraplegic in the DR, you will know merengue and bachata. It's in their blood. Baseball is, of course, the most popular sport, and it's said that it was brought over in the 19th century from American merchant marines and has since then become just as much of a national pastime. Dominican baseball players are highly sought after when it comes to drafting season in the US MLB. Of course, as I say this, Puerto Rico is just kind of standing there rolling his eyes. Let's explain why. The DR
Relations with other countries. I think they probably get along with their Caribbean neighbors. I think maybe not with football, but or baseball. It's I think if they said that the most popular sport is baseball or basket. I don't know. I'm not so into sports, so please don't judge me for this.
Is without a doubt one of the top dogs in the Caribbean. Therefore, they got a lot on their plate when it comes to diplomacy. Now, when it comes to CARICOM, the DR is kind of like Gandalf sitting amongst a Hobbit town hall meeting. Even though you think it would be, the DR is actually not a full member of CARICOM, but rather an observer state. Nonetheless, the DR enjoys sitting on the side, watching and encouraging his little cousins as they dispute fiscal policies and exchange commissions. He's like, "Good job, little guys, keep up the good work." Then we get to Haiti. Basically, in the quickest way I can put this, after gaining independence from Spain, the DR wanted to join Gran Colombia, but then Haiti was like, nope, and then took over the whole island. Things got really messed up for 22 years, and then the DR fought back. Then Trujillo came along, and yeah. I don't want to say he was like the Hitler of the Caribbean, but...
I have never heard of him. Interesting, I have to research a little bit, I don't know. So, I guess he was an asshole, if they compare him to Hitler. So, but I didn't knew that Haiti took over the island. Interesting, but how the situation today? Let's let him talk more. I don't know about this. I will research.
You be the judge. Anyway, since then, there's always been a slight civil discourse when it comes to the two countries. Today, many Haitians cross the border illegally to try to find work, and the DR is becoming slightly wary of the process dealing with this issue. Nonetheless, they still do great business and trade with each other. It's just, you know, they kind of have to work together because they kind of share that whole island. The US and Spain have always been close friends. The US is the largest export and import partner, as well as encourager of economic development. Over 100,000 Americans live in the DR, many with dual citizenship, and over 1 million Dominicans can be found in the US, most heavily concentrated in the northeast states like New York and New Jersey, and in Florida. Spain is, once again, kind of seen as like the motherland, and to this day, they still hold close ties. Spain has signed numerous treaties and agreements with them, and each side absolutely loves it when the other side visits their country. When it comes to their very best friends, however, just like we mentioned in the Cuba episode, it would have to be Cuba and the US unincorporated territory island of Puerto Rico, which with all intents and purposes kind of acts like its own country. These three are the Latin trifecta of the Caribbean, the Three Musketeers. Even when one of them was going through a crazy time, they still held on to each other and pulled through as best friends. Although don't get started on the whole merengue and mofongo thing with Puerto Ricans. Friend or no friend, they will go all out ham on the DR if they claim they are better. In conclusion, the DR is where so much of the New World, and for that matter the entire Western Hemisphere, started to get radically revolutionized. They really are like the godfather of the Caribbean, and once you visit, you'll find a lot of offers you can't refuse. Stay tuned! Actually, East Timor. Remember, we're going by the English names. East Timor! Ooh, is coming up next.
I already reacted to East Timor or Timor-Leste. If you, I think it's Portuguese. If you say Timor-Leste, I did a video already. You can search for it. But yeah, interesting. The Dominican Republic. Maybe I will visit one day, and let's see. I mean, I would like to visit most countries in the world, if I have the money for this. And yeah, maybe I will make some videos there, if I ever go there, or if I go somewhere else, to a nice place. Maybe I make some videos. Let's see. Maybe together with my girlfriend, if I have a girlfriend again. Who knows? I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next one.